Layla Rafat. Was Hubbard's weird book, Excalibur, ever printed out? The book being referred to was a work that Hubbard wrote in the 30s, if I recall correctly. And I've actually been looking into that a little bit lately for research on my book. And it's an interesting and very, very important book, actually, a work that Hubbard wrote, because it was the first thing he wrote that had to do with life and philosophy and how people act and get along and whatnot. And it was never published. And in fact, from all accounts I can find, there are only 3 copies of the book in existence, all in Scientology's archives up in, Hemet, California. They're not available anywhere, and the book has never been published or reproduced. Sections of it have. I think a chapter of it was in one of the Ron mags, one of the magazines, the biographical magazines that the church has put out about Ron. There's a chapter in the Educator, Ron the Educator mag, that they said comes out of Excalibur. Kind of hard to read, kind of weighty stuff. There are non-Scientologists who have attested to the fact that the book exists. Apparently the first person to ever read it was Arthur J. Burks. He was another author at the time that Hubbard was when they were writing pulps, and they were acquaintances, Burks actually describes in an article the book and what he remembered of it. The article was written in like 61 or something. But that's, you can dig that up online. And then also Hubbard's literary agent, Forrest Ackerman, also discusses the book and some of its history and whatnot. And there's all kinds of myth and lore connected with it that Hubbard liked to promote. People who committed suicide after reading it because it was so powerful and amazing and this sort of thing. And he talked about it, sort of dropped hints about it in lectures every now and again, but he never released it. I think the book was important because it was a turning point in Hubbard's life when he had this sudden realization. Apparently he had been having some dental surgery, gone under and died, or had a near-death experience. And during the course of that had this, imagined that he had this whole incident happen to him where he'd gone off into some tunnel of light or whatnot and been exposed to all of this fantastic information that people aren't supposed to normally have, and had come back from that and had immediately gone and run off and taken a week and written this book in a fury, and it explains that the principle of existence, the thing that drives us all to exist, is to survive, and our survival, and being. So anyway, this was for him very, very important, and nobody published it at the time. He couldn't get anybody to publish it, and I understand he was quite disappointed by that and quite upset about it, but he never gave up on it and he never let it go. And so he said elements of it survived into Dianetics and Scientology, and I happen to believe him about that. I think he thought it was very important stuff. So that's what I can tell you about Excalibur.